Hi horror fans, it's V. Today we're going to switch it up. Eventually I will create a full movie review about Pearl, but today I'm going to discuss the similarities between Pearl and The Wizard of Oz. One thing that intrigues me about Pearl is how it pays homage to old Hollywood and has resemblance to The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is a family/musical film from 1939, which follows Dorothy Gale in her journey from Kansas to the magical land of Oz. She meets friends and runs into challenges along the way. Pearl is a psychological horror movie from 2022, which explores the life of Pearl. She's a complex young woman who lives on a farm with her oppressive mother and her incapacitated father. She's driven by her unfulfilled desires and yearns for a different life. This eventually leads to her having a psychological breakdown. Both characters seek a better life for themselves. Dorothy seeks a place somewhere over the rainbow where she will feel fulfilled. Pearl wants to become a star and yearns for a sense of purpose. Both films utilize their settings to create a visual experience that serves their narratives. In Wizard of Oz, the film starts with a sepia tone depicting Dorothy's mundane life. The use of Technicolor compares the dullness of Kansas to the vibrancy of Oz. This represents Dorothy's journey from a monotonous life to one filled with adventure and magic. Unlike the sepia tone of Kansas, Pearl uses a vivid Technicolor palette. This is ironic as the environment is saturated in bright colors, when in reality, or at least Pearl's reality, it is dark and grim. The vibrant setting, in contrast with the dark themes, enhances the psychological horror. Pearl actually wasn't shot in Technicolor, but it was filmed to look like it was. It is inspired by the vibrant look of classic Hollywood films, but applied to a much darker narrative. Both films feature supporting characters that have similarities to each other. We've gone over how Dorothy and Pearl are similar. Pearl dresses in her blue overalls, which does kind of resemble Dorothy's blue dress. I also just realized Dorothy has her red ruby slippers, and red is a very prominent color in Pearl. You see glimpses of red around the house where Pearl lives, and of course there's her iconic red dress. Pearl also reminds me of Miss Gulch from The Wizard of Oz when she's riding her bike to see the projectionist. Pearl's mother is like the Wicked Witch of the West. They are both the main antagonists. Pearl shoves her mother, which causes her dress to catch fire. As she burns, Pearl pours water onto her. This resembles Dorothy throwing a bucket of water on the Wicked Witch of the West. She tries to put out a fire started by the witch. Both Pearl's mother and the Wicked Witch do not end up surviving. The Scarecrow from Pearl obviously resembles the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. I remember seeing somewhere the Scarecrow was originally meant to be a love interest for Dorothy. This is where it gets a little tricky, but I would say that Pearl's father resembles either the Tin Man or the Cowardly Lion. He resembles the Tin Man because the witch casts a spell on him which turns him into a living statue, which makes him unable to speak or move. This is also the same state that Pearl's father is in. He also resembles the Cowardly Lion because of how scared he would get around Pearl. She frightened him and he didn't seem to have the courage when it came to her. For obvious reasons, there wasn't much he could do. The projectionist resembles either the wizard or Glinda the Good Witch. The wizard at first is seen as the key Dorothy needs to change her circumstances. Pearl believes the projectionist will take her away from the farm. He also could be Glinda though, because she represents guidance that helps Dorothy find her way. Pearl did find hope when she thought he was going to take her away from the farm. Mitzi resembles either the Cowardly Lion or Glinda. Glinda is normally blonde and is seen as a positive companion to Pearl. Her ringlets remind me of the Cowardly Lion's mane and becomes frightened by Pearl. This is also where Pearl kind of resembles the Wicked Witch of the West because of their showdown. It's the Wicked Witch versus the Good Witch. Her husband Howard also resembles the Cowardly Lion. We didn't get too much of Howard, but obviously he was pretty scared at the end. And lastly, Theta, Pearl's pet alligator, would resemble Toto, since they are both the pets. Even though The Wizard of Oz and Pearl exist in two different genres, their characters share related themes. I'm going to keep this video kind of short, but this was a topic that interested me while I was watching Pearl. I kept thinking about The Wizard of Oz. Pearl is a warped version of The Wizard of Oz if Dorothy went rogue and had declining mental health. I think that's all for today. Please like and subscribe if you want. I'll see you in the next video.